Hi, everyone. Welcome to our channel, Carving Out Your Best Life. I'm Pamela.
I'm Will, and on our channel, we will be talking about lifestyle, food, some travel, some finances.
And today we're going to talk about TAP Portugal and our experience in booking and flying and the Lisboa airport.
Yeah, and hope with our experience we've had, we can help you a little bit and you find something helpful what we're gonna be talking about today in regards of these topics. Right, let's just start with the first thing, the booking. What you did, Pamela? She did the most of the research.
So I did a lot of research and I found that for us, it was best to book directly with TAP Portugal rather than going through a third party. Found third party bookings to be a lot more expensive, and we were going away for a month and we had set a budget for ourselves. And so booking with TAP Portugal, found their safety rating to be amazing, and we got return flights for $600, and we were happy with that.
Yeah, that's right. And we could have even had it a little cheaper. The basic price was actually priced out for $550, but Pamela then decided to go like $50 higher. That included then check-in with one more, I think, luggage, right?
Well, okay, so when you go with the basic package, uh, what happens is you are allowed one carry-on bag, no checked bag. And I checked on how much it was to purchase a checked bag outside of that booking, and it was going to be a lot more expensive. So upgraded to economy, and that gave us one checked bag and one carry-on bag. And the only thing it did not include was pre-booking of a seat.
Yeah, that's right. And the pre-booking of a seat, so we were kind of debating, should we do it, shouldn't we do it, and or do we take a chance and just go to the airport and get a seat there because it was quite pricey, I would say. I had the impression it was like $150 per seat. So I called him up and tried to find out what the pricing is. And I got referred or got connected to a, how would you call it, like third party. And they said they would do the booking, and they told me that we will be charged like $150 for a comfort seat each, only to find out after this was a scam. So be always aware to when you go on the airline sites and the site of TAP Portugal or any airline site that you speak to the right person. So we decided after all not to take the seat and take a chance and go to the airport.
And if I can just add in,
Sure.
I was a little surprised every time I would literally call TAP Portugal's number, customer service number. You were sometimes connected to this scam third party person, or sometimes you're actually connected to TAP Portugal. So please be aware of that, because a lot of people wouldn't think twice about it. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm going to book my seats. Here's my money. You've got my credit card information. And the next thing you know, they've charged your credit card and they have your money. And then when you get to the airport, you actually don't even have a seat booked, and you've got to pay for your seats again. So just please be aware of that. I'm really glad I found that out. And then I just did some Googling, and I noticed on TAP Portugal's website, it said, please beware scams. So they are aware of that as well. And hopefully these people will discontinue doing that.
Yeah, that was actually a good thing that we kind of did not trust what's happening there, and it kind of sounded and felt fishy. So that was a good thing we didn't do it. And after all, we went to the airport, and with the check-in, we just booked our seats. And luckily, there was not a lot of overbooking, right? So we could get our seats together with the flight. Speaking of the seats, they have also two categories. So they have the green and the red seats. The green is uh, like the normal seats, and the red is like labeled as the comfort seats, if you will. So they're a little bit more expensive, but they claim you can recline them further than the green seats, and you have more leg room, which was actually not really the case on the flight to Portugal, right, Pam?
Oh, definitely not. As you know, most flights to Europe are overnight flights, and you spend most of your time on the plane sleeping. And I was shocked when I sat down and I was in the middle seat, which normally I don't like. I prefer the aisle, but I thought, it's the comfort seats. We paid extra money for it. It's going to be comfy. And I sat down, and I'm not a tall person. I'm like 5'6", not a big person, as you can see. And my knees were practically up against the seat in front of me. And I was not happy. I was so uncomfortable. I was cranky by the time our flight landed. And we found out at the end of our holiday, just on the return, that they have different planes they use. And this particular plane they were using for us to fly to Portugal was smaller than the planes they normally use. So that's one thing also to check into. If we fly again, I'm definitely going to ask that question before I book a flight, because on the way home, the plane was amazingly comfortable as we had originally expected.
And for that reason being, they have the long haul flights, which they use the big planes for when you fly, like, over the Bond and so on. But it could be they ran out of planes and they just had to chime in with like a smaller plane to fill the gap and get people over there. But it was like not really a good experience for me, not so much. But Pamela has been really uncomfortable with this. So watch out for that, and just double check and make sure that you have the right plane and the right seats. So it could be like, not very comfortable if you end up with a smaller plane and this little room for your legs. So therefore, I think it's good to double check.
I mean, other than that, we landed safely. We into the Lisboa airport, also known as Lisbon Airport. And the airport's quite impressive. I mean, it's like being in a gigantic shopping mall. Be prepared to walk. And we then carried on to collect our luggage. We had absolutely no problems with that. And connected to Wi-Fi at the airport, and which I needed so I could access my digital data that I'd set up with a particular company, which I'll go into on another video. Will, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, just to touch on the Lisbon airport, like she said, it's like an amazing airport. I was stunned actually. It was like, it looked like you landed in Dubai, like the all like the duty free shops and all their like booth and the food you could buy. It's like really amazing. It's like a nice airport and it's easy to navigate. So Lisbon airport it's really amazing. So therefore I would say that was a really good experience after this little hassle we had with the plane and all that stuff, and always almost got scammed and such things, right? So,
and if I can just go back to the service with TAP Portugal on the way to Lisbon we've ever taken with TAP Portugal, I did not find The flight attendants very friendly or accommodating. I mean, we're going to be going back and forth to Portugal many times because we absolutely loved, Portugal as a country. But and I will like go back on this again. But I just wanted to warn you, don't, just in case. I just did not find the service very nice. I had to keep pushing a button to ask for a drink. They didn't come around and really ask people if they were thirsty. And when you're on a plane, it gets very dry.
Yeah.
Like, anyways, I just wanted to pass that on.
Even for water, it's not like you ask all the time for beer. I mean, we are not like teenagers anymore, or like not teenagers, but in drinking age that you need to have a beer every 5 minutes. But even water, you had to push the button and ask for water. It should come around. But adding to your point, you never know. You can. There was like our one-time flight, so I don't want to put too much weight on that. It could have been just bad luck, or they had a bad day. I don't know, but hopefully it's gonna be better next day when we go to Portugal again and we choose to fly with them. But it wasn't all that terrible, and but the price is hot. If you get these good tickets for that money, it's worth it, right?
And with that said, when we'd had this wonderful trip in Portugal, we're ready to fly back, and we don't have any problems checking in, but we're all boarded on the plane. And
although I have to add that we didn't get a chance to pick our seats this time, right?
Yeah, no, I actually got an email because I was the person who had booked everything. I got the email saying,
yeah, she's
and as
the
you
boss.
know, yeah, I'm the boss, like, but as you know, like you have an opportunity with any flight you book with any airline to check in 24 hours in advance. I didn't want to, we didn't want to, because we wanted to see if we could do that same thing again, get to the airport, see what seats are available, then book. Because we don't want to pay these outrageous prices for for booking a seat, especially when that comfort seat was not worth the difference between that and the basic seat. So anyways, I ended up getting an email right after that saying, oh, we went ahead and we just booked your seats for you. So we get to the airport and find out that they literally booked us at the back of the plane. And the plane was completely full. So learned a lesson on that one. So not my favorite place to sit on a plane. I mean, statistics show that it's not that comfortable. And I've been on planes at a back where the turbulence, can not be fun. So anyways, regardless of that, got all comfy, got my blanket, got my slippers on, got my eye mask. I'm ready to relax and chill on the way home to Toronto.
And this was not first class. This is just her procedure.
Very funny. So anyways, I mean, who doesn't like to be comfy, right? So there's an announcement made over the the intercom system on the plane. Sorry, everybody. We basically have to deplane everybody because they did one more look-see around the entire plane and found out that the grounds people during the day had damaged part of the plane, and I guess they did not see this before. No one reported it. So everybody basically had to, whatever you took out, you had to repack up and get off the plane and go back to where the gate is so they could let us know what was going to proceed for the rest of the day. And then tell everybody how we spent our next basically 8 hours in the airport.
Not including the 4 hours we were already there, boarding and stuff like that, right? So Yeah, well, we got off the plane. We had to get off. So apparently there was a bigger damage done. Otherwise, usually, if there's little things to let you be on the plane while they
Yeah,
fix
so
it.
if I can just add in, like, hey, listen, I know it might sound like I'm whining or complaining, but it just was kind of a nuisance. But I am more than happy, as I'm sure everybody else would be. We do not want to be on a plane that is not going to go from A to B and it's going to, like where we're going to have a problem. I want to get home safely.
Yeah, that's right. And so therefore, with all the hassle and all the pain we had to experience coming, it's worth it. We don't want to die. We still have like a few years ahead. So, and it's always good to be rather safe, than, take a chance. Saying that, we got off the plane, so we were sitting in our boarding area where actually our gate was, and we have been put back there in our place and said, um, please be patient with us, and we'll find out what we're gonna do. So after a little while, they made an announcement saying that we all gonna get a voucher for like have a meal or go out and then like in the area to a booth or to a restaurant to get like some food. And we should be back. It was like around 6 o'clock p.m. and then we should be back like 8:30. But by the time we got the voucher, it was already like close to 8-ish, I would say.
Yeah, and you have to like keep in mind that it was an entire plane of 32 rows
Yeah, like
of
around
people,
200
or
people.
200 people. And
They,
although I do feel, Will, that they could have gone a little faster.
yeah, they have been very slow. So they were very understaffed. They started off with one person handling this issue. After a while, a second person came in, although they had like two counters there, so they could have like four people for my taste that could have been handled a little bit faster. So anyway, after that happened, they tell us, you know what, come back at 8:30, and then we will tell you um, what is gonna happening with the flights. Will it be continued? Will it get a flight tonight? Will it get a flight tomorrow?
Yeah, and we decided we were just going to sit tight because by the time we got our
Yeah.
vouchers, if we had left, we wouldn't have found out what was happening with the flights. And, you know, the vouchers were, by the way,
12
12,
euros.
12 euros per
Euros.
person.
Euros.
I mean,
12
you
euros.
can't get a lot of stuff like that at the airport. And we thought, okay, you know what? We're just going to save our vouchers because I have a feeling we're not going to be getting home tonight and we can just use it the next day for breakfast or, pre-boarding or whatever.
Anyway, we got the voucher and then we came back, and then only to find out that the flight will not be continued. So there will not be a flight this night. So we're going to have flights to next day. And we're all going to be brought into hotel rooms, so which they paid for. Everything was taken care of, but the entire procedure, not to stretch this story out too long, it took like forever. Like we were sitting another 4 hours, like in the check-in counter and waiting for our vouchers, right, or to be brought to the hotel. And it was like just we were so tired, and then by the time we got it was like midnight. Then we had our
No, we got in at 2 in the morning.
yeah, midnight we drove off, but that's
Oh
another
yeah,
story.
that's another story with respect to our taxi ride, which literally from our airport location to our designated hotel should have taken 15, 20 minutes tops because there's no traffic that time of night. But that's another video because you're going to enjoy that one.
Yeah, that's gonna come up for the next video. But it was like an hour ride, and like very like it was like movie material. However, anyway, we got everything sorted out. The end of the day, then we got to the hotel like at midnight. No, 2 o'clock.
So we arrived at the hotel. We're like literally like at this point, like we're exhausted. We don't have an overnight bag. I mean, that's one thing I'm definitely gonna change on any trip I take again. Like normally I have extra things packed when I'm flying somewhere. But I didn't really think of that, like because I thought, okay, we're just going back home. And so we didn't have any toiletries, just had kind of valuable stuff in our bags that you don't want to check in at the airport and to go in the luggage part of the plane. So the hotel was great. Um, they seemed to be used to this procedure. They were very welcoming. And, TAP Portugal did book us into like a really decent hotel. And just so you know, though, that it is an airline's obligation if they delay a flight over, I think it's like 6 hours, um, and plus that they are legally obligated to transport you to a hotel until another flight is available and to pay fully for that and also to give you food vouchers. So don't think that they did this out of the goodness of their heart. Although I appreciate that we didn't have to have any like discussions with regard to that, they did it.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah, also, and we had a little talk with the concierge, and the concierge said that they work a lot with TAP, with the Portugal Airline TAP, and he said, this hotel makes a good portion of their income with TAP Airlines because apparently that's coming from these hotels, which are Portuguese people. They say they have a lot of problems, and we found out that TAP Airline is still government owned, so they don't care much. So there's a huge substitution with tax money, and that Portuguese people are really upset about it. So they try to sell it now to. I heard rumors to KLM, the France airline. So we'll see how that goes. But this hotel, in particular, they were really happy to make some money all the time with them. So they were already really literally prepared. So we came there, they had a package ready with the toothbrush, with the toothpaste, so everything you would need for an emergency overnight, right? So that was kind of cool, it was nice, and they were very, very nice and very
Yeah,
accommodating.
and then we had a great breakfast in the morning, and by the time, I mean, we didn't really get a lot of sleep because we wanted to get back to the airport and make sure that everything was still running smoothly, which it was. And we were happy to get on the plane with no
Yeah.
problems. And we may have not mentioned before, but we're actually here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and got home safely. And
Yeah, everything was great. It was really amazing in Portugal. TAP Airlines, will we fly again? Maybe, probably, because the pricing is intriguing, right? So, and just to claw back a little bit, the food, it's airline food, it's airplane food. It's not the greatest, but at least they don't charge you for the additional beer or additional wine or beverages, what have. So that's all included. So that's kind of a little bonus, which is appreciated by people and by us as well, right?
yeah, and then we did also when they had booked us on the flight back, they again put us on the back of the plane because we were one of the last people to get our reallocated seats on a plane. So as I'm always one to ask, okay, well, is there any other seats? So she checked around our attendant, and she said, okay, well, I've got these seats here because we said, can we get? We'd like to book if there's a row of three, we'd like to book a window, not take the middle, and book an aisle, just in hopes that we have no one who's going to want that single seat. And as it turned out, there was an earlier flight going out, and that plane got completely booked. Our plane basically had the leftover people who couldn't get on that plane. So it was amazing. No one sat between us, and we had the best flight home and lots of leg room because this was a larger plane. And
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
complain about that.
That was actually perfect. We got lucky on that one.
Yeah.
So,
And so I guess we're going to wrap this one up.
yeah, we wrap it up. So just one more thing, TAP Airlines. TAP stands for take another plane. That's how people call
Yeah,
it.
that's what we heard. So,
So
although I'm going to tell you, I think we may give them another chance. I mean, you, just the best out of three, maybe. Maybe we'll take two more flights, and then we'll let you know at the end what we really think of TAP Portugal. And as Will mentioned, they may be taken over by KLM, and things may get better.
Yeah, we had some problems. Like, I hope you guys get something out of that and of this video and of these tips and our story, what we had, and so you can avoid some stuff what we had to go through. But it always can be worse, so it wasn't that bad.
But thank you for joining us and listening to our stories. And
Yeah.
we're going to have a lot more stories. So if you press the like button and the subscribe button if you'd like to continue hearing our stories.
Exactly. Like and subscribe. And our next video is going to be about the taxi versus Uber and the experience we had with the rental car in Europe, especially in Portugal, because we went to Portugal.
Yeah, lots to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, nice stories. Nice stories. But anyway, thanks for chiming in. Thanks for being with us.
And we'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye.